On the last video I made, someone commented about tapes they had in their channel. I looked through it a bit and noticed a tape that looked a lot like a tape that I had when I was a kid. But on their video, it's from a company called Unicorn. For me, it's 3G Productions, or 3G Home Video. I wrote on it a few years back, kind of when I wanted to start the series. Man, how time flies. Now, admittingly, I don't know much about these tapes, but they both feature the exact same cartoons in the exact same order. Only for this person here, he didn't even have the cartoon advertised on the cover. As for my tape, well, I know as a kid I often lose slipcovers all the time, but this one that I had younger, I'd never seen the original cover. It was always in this Maxwell blank tape cover. I looked all around for the cover of this tape but couldn't quite find it. So apologies for somewhat clickbaiting you into this video. But nonetheless, like the other tape, we're going to take a look and see how obsolete this tape really is. Before we start, I've seen that 3G Home Video is infamous for having a very loud intro that appears at the start of some of their tapes. Unfortunately, or fortunately depending on how you look at it, my tape just immediately starts. No logo, no intro, nothing, making it even harder to know the difference between this and the Unicorn tape. The first cartoon featured on this tape is Fox Pop, released in 1942 and directed by Chuck Jones. The story is about a fox that overhears a radio that mentions everyone loving foxes.
Silver Fox Farm. Ladies, this is the year for foxes. Yes, foxes have really come into their own. Wherever you see smartly dressed people, you'll see foxes this season.
But fails to realize that it meant fox fur, or fox hides. The fox goes to a farm to get captured, but the farm only wanted silver foxes, so he paints himself silver to be more appealing.
Look at these.
The fox makes it out okay in the end, but what I don't understand is, how is he unaware of being killed for fox fur? He understands how to act if the trap actually catches him.
Get me out of here.
So I don't understand what happens next being alien to him. But the cartoon is fine. I mean, I do like the design of the fox. Something about his smile is really funny to me. Now, what about its availability now?
Look at this. Genuine silver.
Well, this cartoon did get a remaster, but it's only on HBO Max. Or maybe it's just called Max now. It looks great. I really do appreciate all the detail and work on this remaster, but that's not really owning a copy. No, the only physical release is on Laserdisc in Volume 4 of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes. That features the Turner print of this cartoon, which technically you can own on DVD in the bonus extra of a 2006 DVD release of the 1942 film King's Row. But you can still find the cartoon on YouTube and on Wikipedia. I'll put a link in the description below. The next cartoon is Robin Hood Makes Good. And it's a good time to point out that public domain tapes like these usually have a habit of using the same cartoons as others multiple times. I've covered this cartoon in a previous video, but in this series I kind of want this to be like videos that you stumble upon and watching them in no particular order. But back to the cartoon. This Merry Melodies cartoon was released in 1939 and directed by Chuck Jones. This cartoon is about 3 squirrels reading the book Robin Hood, and the youngest squirrel wanting to play pretend.
Spell it. who's Merry Man? I'll be Robin Hood.
But the other two older squirrels bully him into playing the role of the bad guy, so they can win in the end. While the squirrels were playing, a nearby fox noticed the squirrels and plays the role of Maid Marian.
Here I am.
Luring the two older squirrels into a cabin, and it's up to the youngest squirrel to rescue them. This cartoon is really cute and pretty fun, but has a few shots that are kind of uncomfortably detailed. I guess since I've covered the cartoon before, I'll compare the quality to the other VHS tape that features it. I think the one in Star Classics Tweety Bird is slightly better. Even though it's a little blurrier, it doesn't have the yellow tint that 3G Home Video does. As for a new restored version, the only way to see it is on Max, because the only physical release is in Volume 2 of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes on Laserdisc. It's also featured in 2015 Blu-ray release of Dark Victory and the 2015 Blu-ray release of Robin and the Seven Hoods as bonus features. But those and the Laserdisc is the unrestored Turner print of the cartoon, so you won't really see beautiful backgrounds on these releases. I want to add that in the Looney Tunes fan wiki, there are these scans of these backgrounds, and I thought it was worth sharing. I'll put a link to these and where you can find the Watch This cartoon in the description. The next cartoon is Prest-O Change-O, a Merry Melodies cartoon released in 1939 and directed by Chuck Jones. I've also talked about this one on the first video I did, but don't worry, the next one is different, I promise. This story is about two dogs running away from a dog catcher and taking refuge in a weird house belonging to a magician. While looking around the house, the dogs get separated, and throughout the cartoon, the bigger brown dog gets harassed by a happy rabbit, and the smaller white dog gets harassed by some magic rope. This cartoon is notable for featuring the happy rabbit, a character which acts sort of like the prototype for Bugs Bunny, at least when it comes to design, because this rabbit can be kind of an obnoxious jerk. I will say though, I do like the creativity of the magic tricks, sort of being the explanation for the cartoon shenanigans that are present here. Now, to compare quality to Kids Classics Canine Capers, I say it's real close. Although I like that 3G Home Video is brighter and colorful, the high contrast makes the colors bleed into each other. But also, Kids Classics has this K watermark on the bottom of the screen. I didn't mention it the first time, but it's not my VCR doing it, it's part of the tape. But what about an official physical release? Well, this cartoon is featured on Volume 2 of the Looney Tunes Platinum Collection on Blu-ray. The Blu-ray is pretty expensive online, but the Platinum Collection did have a less expensive DVD release, but it's without any of the bonus features. Before that was Volume 2 of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes, but that's the unrestored Turner version. It can still be found on YouTube, so I'll be sure to update the description for whatever links that are available. Alright, the last cartoon is Pigs in a Polka, a Merry Melodies cartoon released in 1943 and directed by Friz Freleng. This is the first main reason I wanted to do a video on this tape. In the beginning of the video, I mentioned how the Unicorn VHS tape of the Three Little Pigs didn't even have the Pigs in a Polka cartoon, which is the main reason anyone would pick it up. I'm not sure if the video I saw was just a defect, or if all of them were like that. But this particular 3G home video tape does have the cartoon. The story is already summarized at the beginning of the cartoon.
The big bad wolf and the three little pigs, set to the delightful music of Johannes Brahms' Hungarian dances. As the scene opens...
Now for the second main reason I wanted to do this tape. Even when I was younger, I remember the quality being pretty bad. But this right here is almost analog horror levels of quality. I mean, I feel like at any moment an emergency broadcast would tell me about what to do if I see an alternate. But somewhat dated references aside, the cartoon itself is one of my favorites. I remember when I was younger, I would always hum the Hungarian dance music throughout the day. I didn't even know the original song at the time, so I always thought it was from this cartoon, despite the wolf in the beginning explaining that it is. This cartoon is Warner Brothers' take on the Three Little Pigs. Not just the fable, but the Disney cartoon, because Disney had silly symphonies while Warner Brothers had merry melodies, which both were just one-shot cartoons until Warner Brothers made Looney Tunes for their recurring characters. While Disney's Three Little Pigs is animated a little better than Warner Brothers' Three Little Pigs, I always thought the latter to be funnier and more memorable. So how about the physical release? Well, this cartoon had a ton of official physical releases. You can find this cartoon in Volume 1 of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes on Laserdisc. You can even find this on VHS in Volume 5 of the Looney Tunes Collector's Edition, Musical Masterpieces, which also got our DVD release. Also on DVD is Volume 3 of the Looney Tunes Golden Collection, Home Entertainment Academy Awards Collection. It's even in Volume 8 of the Looney Tunes Spotlight Collection. And finally, you can find it in Volume 3 of the Looney Tunes Platinum Collection. All of these great quality releases, but if you want, you can still see the remastered version on Max. It's great to see one of the best cartoons available in this tape in a variety of ways, even after reaching public domain. I wish more cartoons got this treatment. So let's review. There are 4 cartoons on this VHS tape. Fox Pop, which you can find in Volume 4 of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes on Laserdisc, or the remastered version on HBO Max. RobinHood Makes Good, which can be found in Volume 2 of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes on Laserdisc, or also on HBO Max. Prest-O Change-O, which is found in Volume 2 of Looney Tunes Platinum Collection in the DVD and Blu-ray, and Pics and a Polka, which can be found in Volume 3 of the Looney Tunes Golden Collection on DVD, or Volume 3 of the Looney Tunes Platinum Collection on Blu-ray. Overall, all these cartoons could be found in some capacity online, like YouTube, but only 2 of them can legally be owned physically in a restored quality. All of them have been restored and they are all on streaming, but this tape here is of pretty poor quality. So, I feel that it's pretty obsolete, and since I can't even find the cover to distinguish it, into the box and off to Goodwill it goes. Thanks for watching.